your the recording, and yeah, I'm also recording it at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, much better for me to play.
Under this particular section, general, this bit here should belongs to the overview in the construction industry. Okay.
Okay.
This one, general, is just basically what this chapter is all about. Okay.
Okay.
And try not to have such a long paragraph.
Okay.
Your paragraphing are a bit too long. Okay. Let me see where you can break up. Maybe somewhere here. So this bit here, maybe you can shift it to somewhere down somewhere here, like after you finish talking about the construction industries, like you're talking about overview of the construction industry. So amount of work that is in the construction. Yeah, your paragraphing is way too long. It's like you don't want to scroll one whole page to finish up one paragraph, you know?
Okay.
I think this bit here,
Yeah.
maybe you can, I would say, yeah, this is already, you're talking about going into the quality of workmanship. Okay. So maybe you can talk about it here. The highest level, the consumption of raw material, blah, blah, blah. Let's try to put it here, okay?
Okay.
Okay, once you have done that, increasing many countries reduce carbon footprint on construction. Yeah, this is sustainable development, and do we really want to talk about this here? Like, is it necessary? Like, what does it want? What do you want to talk about here? You see, I mean, like, what is the point of your what is the point of your this sustainable thing? You see.
Mm.
You need to, you know, like every section that you have to yourself needs to understand. If yourself don't understand what's the point of this particular section, and you're putting it there, then you don't expect me to understand, or any of your audiences to understand what is it that you are trying to get here, you see. So I get here that you're trying to say that construction industry is important. It's a very big industry. It contributes, I mean, it uses up a lot of resources. I mean, like, why do you want to talk about it use up a lot of resources, you see? I mean, like, okay, if you want to talk about it use up a lot of resources, then it should lead to talking about usage of human resources, you see? Otherwise, this is, what is the point? You see, like, I mean, I read this, I ask you, what is the point of writing this? You know, what is the point of telling the audience that it is transmitting CO2 greenhouse gases? Is this the environmental topic? It's not, isn't it? You know? So if you talk about this bit here that says that Malaysia has construction industry that, you know, don't talk things that don't make sense, you know. Don't talk to me about COVID. Your topic is not about COVID, you know.
Okay.
Don't mention things that are unnecessary just to fill up the pages. Yeah. Like
Okay.
here you're saying that it's important. Why is it important? You see?
Okay.
So you see, it's so important and is consuming raw material of this much, producing greenhouse gases. Yeah. So I am saying, are you telling me that construction industry, is this the point here that construction industry is important, but it is actually doing a lot of bad things in the to the world? I mean, that's why, you see, when I read your thing, I was like, you try to tell me here, you know, you're not telling, you're trying to tell me one thing and then you switch to the other thing, and I don't even know what your topic is all about anymore. Your topic is all about quality, workmanship, and quality, you see, and workman. So your overview of the construction industry should be leading me towards that direction. It should be telling me that, number one, it is a very big industry. It contributes to the Malaysian economy. It actually recorded a lot of construction work, like what you have here. You know, all this is good. You know, like it recorded so much of construction work. Okay, that if you want to say about business being put to a halt, yeah, and then suddenly you start to talk about sustainable development. Why? Why are we talking about sustainable development suddenly, you know? It's like, for what? You know, just as I'm about to get into the gist that it is the very important industry, you know, and then you should be talking about, okay, now you want to talk about consumption of raw material. So saying that, okay, it is so important because people needs home and all that. Yeah, okay, so okay, let's say you put this up here, people needs home, you know, the raw material consumption is so high. And why? You know, because so it's all about raw consumption because people need home, and it is about economic agenda. But don't suddenly go and talk about gas emission. You know why? Why you wanted to talk about gas emission? My question mark here. You see, this is my question mark, and then you see, so it is an important industry that is very dynamic and it contributes to the Malaysian economy. Blah blah blah. Yeah, so good. You know, you talk about that, you see, talk about how important it is and how much resources that it consumes. That's fine, you see. These are the things that you should be looking at, you know, try to rearrange this a little bit. You know, talk about how important the industry is, and then talk about how big the industry is. And then this is the part that you can say that it deals a lot, it needs a lot of people, you know, it needs a lot of human resources, you see. So it should be telling me something at the end of telling me how big this industry is, how much resources it consumes. One of the resources should be human resources. So talk about how much people the industry engage, how much workmen, how much percentage of workmen it engage, you see. Give me some data on these sort of things, you see. Don't talk about greenhouse gas emission, you know, like all this for what? You see, cut CO2. So are you telling me that the industry is so bad that we should cancel the industry? This is what I'm feeling now, you know, after I read your thing, you see. So it's not about workmen anymore, you see. So then after that, okay, so it all requires labor. This is important, you know. So what is the labor used for? But not much again, then you talk a lot about carbon footprint and sustainable development. This got nothing to do with quality of workmanship, this is quality of material, and all that, and creativity in design and all that will be required to talk about. So you see, your whole overview does not bring me to any point. The point should be it engaged a lot of workmen, it engaged a lot of human resources, it engaged a lot of trades and people, specialists. Who are the people here? Okay, and tell me why you talk about people, because people will lead to workmanship, because this is a very hands-on, this is a very manual, hands-on industry. Bring out points like this, don't talk about nothing that, things that doesn't make any sense for your topic, you see. Every section that you put in the literature must have point for the topic itself, okay? So then after that, you talk about, you see, all this for me is like, sorry, really, no point, you see. And then you talk about quality, yes, I'm going to go to that, you see. So you're using so many lands, and therefore the land is what? The land is, so are you telling me that your topic is about land not enough? Affordable housing? No, right? See, greenhouse gas emission, all these are not necessary at all, you have to talk about people, because your topic is workmanship. Stick to this, define this, problem related to workman and workmanship. This is your topic. Okay, and then after that is try to put it on as in the industry. The industry needs people, people to make it work. These are the things that you need to bring up, After 2 or 3 paragraphs of this, you should tell me that the industry needs people. Because most of the work are actually hands-on, are actually manual, that needs human to do, And then, but there is a prevalent problem here. Find articles on prevalent problems with quality of final product. Give me a few articles on people saying that workmanship has problem, you see. Give me articles that give me journal papers that says that there is problem with workmanship. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is problem with quality of works produced. Okay. So then talk about quality being a problem. Quality being a long-standing problem. In the construction industry, you have something like this here, but it's a touch and go, you see. This bit here, then these sort of things will actually come into the picture now. Okay, come into the picture, and you follow up talking about things like this quality problem, and what is the quality problem, where does the quality problem comes from. But I'm not asking you to talk about a lot on this, because the most important thing is I need you to point out that quality is an item that needs to be managed. Okay. So what maybe your section should be overview of the construction industry, and then you have a 2.2.1 that talks about workman. Define workman. Define workman. Okay, define define workman, define trades, what are the trades that needs people, the construction work that needs people. I'm not sure whether you've done that at the bottom. Let me have a look. Because you have gone to quality, you haven't done any definition. You haven't done any definition, okay? You haven't done any definition yet. So you need to define this. Define human resources. Human resources for construction industry. This can be under this overview, okay? And then you quickly talk about, like, not too much lah, huh? Because you've already got something down there. So maybe you can have 2.2 overview of quality issues in construction projects, something like that. So then at the end of this overview, like maybe I would say 1 page or so, okay? It's just an overview. And then you must end up talking about quality must be managed, you see? And the following section describes quality and the idea of quality management. Okay? So then you go to okay. Now you're jumping too fast also. There is no definition of quality. So here you must define quality. Define, then you must have a section on quality management system, QMS. You define quality. The most important thing is what is there to manage. So what is there to manage? Your M's, you know, manpower, machineries, material. Okay. So this bit here, we're talking about QMS.
Quality management system.
Really a bit jumpy lah. I think you are trying too fast to finish your things, you know, and you're not really doing what I want you to do. These are really all a bit off. I mean, like jumping here and there. You see, you're not really flowing it at all, you know, like when I read all your section, I really don't know what you want to tell me. What is the point of your research here, you see? No, this is really way too far off, Macquarie. This is really way too far off from what I want the standard of a good literature review. It doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me a story. It doesn't tell me what is the point of the research, you see.
Okay.
And in fact, it's running completely away from what you're trying to tell me. I mean, like, I didn't even think that we should be talking about quality management system. We're not actually looking into quality management system here. think this is not the right thing to do, lah. I mean, this topic is very this section here is very confusing, lah. See, I don't know how you can link everything together this way. You see, I'm very confused by your work. First of all, this section you already talk about things that is not important at all to the topic, and we need to cut out a lot of things. And then after you talk about, okay, let's go by my flow, lah, huh? After you talk about what is the actually it's not quality. It's actually your topic is quality of workmanship. Huh? Let me see. Quality of workmanship. There's a word of quality here. So you need to define quality definitely. So you finish talking about workmen and how important they are. Then you move in and talk about quality issues, problem related to quality or quality issues. And here you must bring up a very important point that quality is a problem. Quality is a problem that needs to be managed. And then here you must, after that, you go and define what is quality and what is quality by different authors, maybe about a page or so. And then what is there to manage, you see? Manage with workmanship, it comes talking about manpower. You need to manage manpower so that the workmanship. So this is the part that you talk about workmanship and manpower in relationship to workmanship. And then you need to mention that machinery, just give it a touch and go methods. You see, these are the quality things that you need to manage. The definition is 1 page. This one here, we're looking at about 1 to 2 pages of what is there to manage, what is there to manage in terms of quality. Yeah, and then from there, from this thing, we should start to focus on workmanship. So at the end of this section, you should mention that you should have your own summary that says that manpower is a critical component of quality management of construction, or it's a very important aspect, it's a very important aspect of construction quality management. Okay, or quality manage a component part of quality management in construction projects, you see. And then after that, I'm thinking that you should bring up some of the things here. Maybe you can start to talk about this, causes of quality related issues. You're talking about QMS, your system, You're talking about a system that is the problem. Our quality management system that is a problem that is causing within the system that is having. Maybe you should talk about relationship between quality and workmanship.
Yeah.
What is this story for, you see? I mean, like, who cares, bribery. So what, bribery causes the quality to drop? No, this doesn't cause, it doesn't tell me that this building was done with poor workmanship, you see?
Okay.
I really don't care if they are taking bribes or whatever, as long as the work is good, you see? But then Are you trying to tell me that the work is so bad because they're taking, then I don't really care whether they are actually going to be committing jail time of how many years. This is wasting your words actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you are jumping away from the whole thing. You're talking about corruption, certainly, you see. I mean, McCurry, I mean, you are really confusing me, you know. I mean, like, I really cannot accept this. This is like you're not going to the point, you see.
Okay, I'm revising it, Doc. Yeah, because actually I'm talking about why they had to win the prize because of the quality of work, because they, you know, the integrity is also. That was what my thinking lah.
But is there?
I'm going to revise it. Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot really talk about this thing without really proving to me that, you know, that workmanship and corruption. You know, this workmen in the construction industry down there, people who are working, they are taking a salary only, you know, McCurry. They're not taking bribery, you know. So it's not related to them. If this is a corruption related, integrity related thing, your workman is only taking instructions from the top people, you see. So if you're focusing on workmanship, you should be talking about their, I mean, I will be focusing more onto their education level, their training, their mentality, their motivation, you know, all these sort of things that is more people and human related, attitude related kind of thing. This, if you're talking about bribery, you see, bribery, people taking bribery are the officers from whoever, these public officers, you know, in China. Okay? And people giving bribery are people who are the bosses or the super management and above people giving bribery. You see? So these people, they are not the hands-on people to do the work. No matter how lousy, how good, they can take, people up there can be giving bribery and taking bribery. If the workmanship people down there are doing a good job, you wouldn't have problem of the hotel falling down, you see?
Yeah.
So you cannot say that hotel falling down is because people taking bribery and the workmanship becomes bad. There is no relationship. There's no proof that the workmanship is bad because people are taking bribery. We are not trying to find that link, you see? Okay? So you're trying to...
Okay.
I'm trying to get you to understand. Yeah. All right, so we need to get your structure out because you've only essentially got only 4 weeks left, you know. If this is not done, if this is not done properly, I cannot let you take RP2, you know. If you take RP2, I can pass you on this, but then I cannot allow you to take RP2. Because when you go into RP2 and this is Kalang Kabut, there's no way that you can do that data collection, you know, and then you're going to fail your RP2. So if this, in this 3 weeks time, I don't see a good literature review from you, that means you have to continue doing this in your second sem. Same goes with Kaiza. You know, you guys need to take your second sem to do your literature review to a standard that is reasonable before I can release you into RP2. Because when you go to RP2, it almost immediately you have to start taking data already. If you don't even know what data to take, I release you into RP2, you're just going to fail RP2 because your data collection will be completely off, you see. Greg, so, I mean, I don't want you to just do something and quickly throw to me that kind of thing, you know. I mean, like, I believe, you know, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, that you can do a very good job. You know, like you really can organize your things properly, but then you are rushing it, you see. So, right. So let's get this out first, okay? So let me think. After your manpower, after you finish talking about that manpower, I think you should talk about maybe the relationship between workman versus or quality of workmanship. Quality of workmanship. Yeah, that is a good one. Try to talk about quality of workmanship and define. Always remember when you start a new section, as much as possible, define it first. Define workmanship.
Okay.
Okay, but here maybe you've already defined something here already. So maybe this bit here you don't have to define anymore. Just directly go to problems related to construction workmanship. I need you to really point out the problem. Don't go and talk about like things like, you know, greenhouse gas emission causes workmanship. If greenhouse gas emission, if weather is a problem in workmanship, that is causes, you see. I want you to go in and talk about problems with workmanship, okay?
Okay.
Reword. What is problem with workmanship? Reword is a problem. Defects is a problem. Complaints are problems, you see.
Okay.
And what else? Defects, rework, patching off, you know, things like not redo, reword, redo lah, reword, redo, and then this will all at the end of the day cause schedule to go overrun and cost to escalate.
Okay.
We're talking about workmanship quality problem. Go and talk about workmanship quality problem. Talk about defects. Talk about low performance. Low performance. End product. End product that needs lots of maintenance, high maintenance, because it is not being done properly in the first place, you see. And you know, talk about, you have a lot of this idea in your head on quality of workmanship. You know, you write it down, all the poor workmanship problem, write it down first, and then go and search for literature that are related to rework, redo. Tell me that, you know, so and so say that in many projects in Malaysia have to experience reworking, which include destroying the original work and redoing everything, you know, like taking off the whole manhole or honeycomb that cannot be repaired, you know. Repair is also one of the important thing, you know, in quality of workmanship. So after you finish talking about quality of workmanship and then talk about quality of workmanship that create a lot of problem, then you talk about causes of it, causes of poor workmanship. Okay, so this is problems related quality of workmanship. Okay, so problems related to quality of workmanship, causes of poor workmanship. So what are the causes? The causes are workers not cooperative, maybe, you know, they don't listen to instructions, you know, those sort of things are causes of workmanship.
Yeah.
And then poor supervision, you know, lack of communications. I think you have this down here. Let me have a look whether it's suitable or not. Quality related issues. You are going towards it. The main focus is workmen and how they are. but you are going towards it with perspective that the quality management system is not good, you see.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you really want to talk about the system that is causing the problem? Are we doing a quality project suddenly? Sorry, I mean, I'm a bit lost again, you see. This section definitely can remain.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe this section can be shifted up to causes of poor workmanship.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got a good section here on causes of good. These are more on causes of poor. I mean, what causes poor workmanship? You see.
Yeah.
Every section should have a point. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, if you are every section, every paragraph, if there's no point, then it shouldn't be there. You see.
Okay.
Like, let's say all this thing you're talking about causes of workmanship. So first you talk about so these are some of the section this, let's say this is 2.3.2. This is causes of poor workmanship. I mean, try to mention about workmen. You know, you have to talk about workmen. There must be a section about workmen is the cause. The workmen themselves is the cause of workmen. Poor workmanship. One of the cause, Supervision is one of the cause. Unable to communicate the design, meaning that the education level of the people is a bit low, so that it's very difficult to communicate design and drawings. And also maybe is you have to add in also communicating of work method.
Okay.
To the workman also is one of the causes. And I think also the use of digital platform can also be a hindrance for our workmen. You have to, this section you have to write like workers are the causes of workmanship, you know, and what is in the workers that is causing poor workmanship. Is it because they are their education level, their mentality, their attitude? So there will be three areas that you'll be looking at in terms of workers. So first, of course, is their skills. You see, if they have very low skills, they are very badly trained, there is no proper way of training them, then there will be a cause of there will be a cause. This will be a cost, you see, in terms of skills. And skills are actually related to, say, an education level, you see.
Okay.
And then you also will look at their attitude, you know, attitude in terms of maybe things like not cooperative and lack of motivation. So lack of motivation is basically saying that they are lazy, you see. So is that one of the issue? You know, and then what else is attitude? Not motivated, not Okay, never mind. And then I would think there will be another issues like language. You know, if we're using foreign workers, there will be problems with languages and all that. So then a lot of these things are actually like, let's say, communicating of drawings and all this problem with communicating of work and all that can be actually part of all these sections, you see. So some of them are not able to listen to instructions because of the language problems. Some of them are not cooperative because of their attitude, you know, and then and I think there will also be issues like what else? What else can you think of? These are the things that I'm trying to point out for you so that you can search for this kind of literature, you know, like this is not about me saying this thing, you see. I need you to prove it, you see. So if there's anything that you find that is also causing poor workmanship, so this is like you need to talk about relationship between workman versus workmanship. Either you talk about it in the upper section or because here you must talk about all the problems related to workmanship, right? And then if you can end up telling me that, you know, it is a very big problem with workmanship, and then you can see that many of these problems are caused by workmen. You know, many of the workmanship problems above. What is the workmanship problem? This is workmanship quality, you see. It is caused by workmen. So then you're talking about this relationship between workman and workmanship. And then here, when you bring in and talk about causes of poor workmanship, then you must write everything that is related to workman. Okay? Right? So, Macquarie, okay? So obviously, we can also say that in order to manage, you see, in order to manage workman and workmanship, quality of workmanship, good quality management system that includes management of workmen is essential, you see. So above, you have trying to prove to us that, you see, workman has causes so much problem, and this without managing workman, we basically cannot manage quality of workmanship. So you see, these are the relationship that I need you to, after one section to another section, I need you to establish some relationship. I mean, some form of final what you get out of the above topic sort of things, you see. So then you talk about QMS. What is QMS and what is quality management system? And then what is typically in quality management system? And then I need you to really look into, like, when we talk about quality management systems and quality management, like, what is quality management systems? What is QMS, you see? And, you know, one of them is TQM. TQM is one of them. There are many many quality management systems that is available, like Six Sigma, Kaizen, for example. All sorts of quality management. We just mentioned them. And then tell me that out of this many quality management system, out of all these typical quality management system, how many of them actually are people orientated? Which one of them are people orientated? You see? So maybe TQM talk about people, talk about workers, you see? So then from there, you're trying to prove to us that even in quality management systems, either our quality management system does not focus on people, or there is quality management systems that have focus on people, on workmanship and people. So from there, you are trying to tell me that, you know, we need a QMS system that is also focusing on workman and workmanship. Because some of the QMS, like construction, we focus, you know, we use things like PQP, you see?
Okay.
We use things like PQP. Tapi in PQP, it's not people oriented. It's about material, it's about methods of doing things, but it's not about who to employ, what skills they must have, you know. So then your topic, your work, you know, becomes creating. Maybe you can actually, your objective, your aim is to study the current QMS systems in the construction industry and whether they are actually workman and workmanship orientated, you know, or whether they include. So your objective is like to study the current QMS, to study the current issues or problems of workmen and all that, and then to see whether workmen has been included in the our quality management systems, and if not, how do we include them? Maybe something like that. Then that will be your topic, you see. But that is already quite swerving towards quality management system already.
Okay.
But you want to be more focused on motivation, no?
Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, we should be focusing on motivation. That means the attitude of the workers. Okay. Maybe what after this section you are proving to us, you're trying to prove to us that we need a system. No, actually that's why I'm saying that, do you need QMS? You see, if we don't talk about QMS, we can cut out the whole thing about QMS. Then we don't focus on QMS at all, you see. If let's say I take out everything, no talking about QMS, that means we're not going into quality and quality management system. Okay, so after this section on what causes the poor workmanship, you should highlight, okay? So no more management system, okay? No more quality management system. You should highlight that workman and quality of workmanship is highly tied in with attitude of workers, of workmen. Okay?
Okay.
And then after that, you talk about all sorts of things that are related to study of attitude and how to improve the attitude of workmen. What area? So what is attitude? You see? Then you're going into talking about attitude of workmen. So then you need to have a few articles on what you define as attitude. Is it the is motivation part of the attitude, you know? Is diligence part of the attitude, you know? So you need to define all this, because all this will help you to establish your parameters later, you see? So then don't talk about, if you want to talk about quality and audit systems, so it's more like, how do you audit their workmanship, you see? So this bit here maybe is more related to the motivation now. Maybe this bit here is more on the attitude. Yeah, I mean, like if you're going to go for the attitude and motivation, then you should start to focus on attitude and motivation. So I really don't know what's the point of you talking about QMS suddenly, because you want to focus on quality management system. Which one do you want to focus on? You tell me, Zachary.
Your motivation, is that okay?
Yeah. If you're going to focus on motivation, take out everything that is related to QMS, okay?
Okay.
Because otherwise, for me, I feel like you're swerving to QMS already. Like you are trying to establish a system that can actually include planning, monitoring, controlling of workmanship and workmen. You see, it's not on the attitude. So then you need to define what is attitude, you see. After you talk about this bit here, straight away, this bit here, basically, you need to redigest this whole big belakang here from page 14, redigest it. You know, you don't need this, you see.
Okay.
Focus on parameters. When you are looking at attitude, what are the parameters that you're looking at? You see?
Okay.
Is it diligence? Is it motivation? Is it education? Is it what? You know, you have to list down, what do you mean by attitude, poor attitude, you see? And why are this attitude a barrier to good workmanship? Okay. And then you need to find 5 or 6 research that is related to workmanship, workman attitude, and workmanship.
Yeah.
And see how these other people carry out that research, you see. So this one is what I call previous research. Okay. And you know, in this part here, you should say, okay, in the research conducted by so and so in year whatever, the research was concentrating on studying the attitude of workmen in the construction industry. And the result is it was found that, you know, through this sort of methods of data collection, it was found that 60% of the workers are not educated. 50% of the workers are lack of motivation. And why are they lack of motivation and all that? So you have to find 5 or 6 previous research that has something to do with workman attitude and poor workmanship. Okay?
Okay.
Right, so you still have this one big section here that you need to look at, you see. So this one here, after you talk about this one is not 2 point. I think this will be about 2.3 causes of poor workmanship. And I think maybe even causes of poor workmanship should be a section of itself already, 2.4. And then after that, 2.5, and 2.6. Okay. So it's good that we are finding more and more focus onto your research already. So you're talking about workmanship that is related to attitude of the workers. Okay. But you see, in order to lead to all this, you need to have literature review that moves on from workmanship, relationship between workman and workmanship, what causes workmanship problem, and some of it are workman and workman. So what actually is the problem in workman that creates poor workmanship, and how are we going to solve this problem? Are we going to look at whether in our industry, our attitude of workman is also bad, So we have to prove that and how to make improvement to the attitude of workman in order to improve the workmanship. So you need previous research, you see, to back you up, to actually tell you how to carry out this sort of research, okay? So, Macquarie, 2 weeks, okay?
2 weeks, okay.
Because you don't have much time anymore, unless you are telling me that you are okay to do your RP2 in SEM 3, which means you graduate in SEM 4, okay?
Okay, sure. Okay, doctor.
I mean, it's a choice. You don't have to stress yourself. If your time doesn't permit, we can always do this into SEM 2. I will still pass you. I will still give you a pass for your RP1 so that your record don't look bad. But I would not let you take RP2. I need you to continue doing your RP1 in SEM 2. Do you want that?
I can level this to complete my RP1.
Yes, so I think I know you are a very strong and motivated person. So I am giving you the worst case scenario. If you really can't come up with something that I think is reasonable, okay, I would need you to, because this is already your draft, it's going into this is your second draft, checked by me, isn't this is your second draft or third draft? Third draft already, Right, so in 2 weeks' time, I need you to hand it in to me with the structure that I've given you, okay? Are you still there, Macquarie?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so problematic, very problematic. It's already week 8 and it's looking very problematic because everything is mumbo jumbo. Even you can't tell me what you want to do, you see? Like, suddenly you talk about QMS, suddenly you talk about carbon emissions, suddenly you talk about sustainable design and sustainable construction. Everything is in the mumbo jumbo. It's in the mess, honestly speaking, okay? So can you do something with the floor that I've already given you and fill up the floor with literature, okay? And at the end of every section, you tell me what you get out from the upper section. You have to give me one paragraph of your own summary of what you have digested from the literature review from the above section. And then tell me what is the point of the next section.
Okay.
It must flow,
Yes, okay.
All right, okay. Then you go first. I know you're very busy, so I don't want to take up too much of your time anymore. Okay. So
Yeah,
I would
okay,
say,
doctor.
give me your work again on the what date is today? Today is
Today is 23rd. 23rd.
23rd. Now in 2 weeks' time, I would say give it to me on the 5th or the 6th.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to turbo and push you all the way up to before Christmas. And then after that, you'll be doing your RP presentation. And that's where I need you to do a bit of work in your introduction. If you can pass RP1 and go to RP2, you need to fully finish your chapter 1 and 2. Okay?
Okay.
If by then you cannot finish, I will probably still pass you, but then I cannot allow you to take RP2 because I need you to take the whole next semester to amend your RP1, okay?
Okay, Doc. Yeah.
That will mean graduating one semester later.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the consequence. That is the worst case scenario, okay?
Okay, Doctor. Noted. Yeah.
All right, so I'll be monitoring you for the 5th, 19th, 26th. If by 26th it's still looking like this, kalang kabut, then I would say forget it, McCurry. Just concentrate on the other subjects, and then we will do this in second sem, okay?
Okay, Doctor. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Hi, Zah, how are you?
Okay, doctor.
Yeah, same goes with you. I mean, if you really cannot give me something that is even reasonable, I mean, this is master standard, you know. If you can't give me something that is reasonable by as soon as possible, same goes with you. I need to keep you in for one sem, okay? I mean, I don't enjoy keeping you guys in for one sem. It is a lot of work to me, you know. I have to keep on monitoring you guys, and if you don't graduate, I don't get paid at all for supervising you at all. So there's no point for me to wanting to hold you off, you see. But I do not want you to produce work that is supervised under me and in a very kalang kabut kind of manner, you know.
Okay, doctor.
Right. Okay, so this is same as what I've said to McCurry. I'll say this to you as well. If you don't give me something that I already tell you so many times, and yet you still can't produce, then too bad. We have to do this until next time, okay? Otherwise, I'm happy you change supervisor. You see, I'm okay with that. All right, so this is talking about your you have gone and made some improvement after I commented to you the other day.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, let me run through it with you. This sentence is very good, like human and devices. Do you have any references for this sentence?
No, doctor.
Can you find something like that? Because I feel like in construction field is practically operated by human and devices. This is a very good sentence. I think if you can find some proof for this sentence, especially the part that on human and devices, these are the part that I need you to talk about human, you see.
Okay, doctor.
Okay. So I don't want to jump into safety so soon, you see. Talk about human first. Talk about the human aspects first, you see. Think, why can't you just tell me what about the people? Where are the people involved in the industry? You know, there are people in the management level, there are people in the supervision level, there are people who are hands-on, you know. There's so much data and on all that. Why can't you just write it down, you know? Supervision and tradesmen, workers, workmen, specialist workmen, you know, where I don't see work carpenters, I don't see work bar benders, steel makers, you know, masoner, bricklayers. I mean, you have to give me at least 2 paragraphs talking about what the importance of different trades and workmen, you know, in the industry.
I wasn't able to finish on that part actually.
Yeah, you are doing full time, you know, Haiza.
Yeah.
So you cannot tell me that, you know, you should be spending at least 4-5 hours a day on this thing, you see. You're not taking, are you not working, are you?
Yeah, I'm not working, but I'm doing a part-time.
Yeah, you're doing part-time, that's fine. But, at least you have to allocate at least 4 hours a day to your RP. Otherwise, I can tell you, sorry, I'll see you again next time.
Okay, doctor.
Ah, so this bit here, after that, you zero in, talk about safety being, construction activities are high risk, okay? It's as high risk. Okay, a very big chunk is still missing. A very big chunk in the beginning is still missing. So you're jumping into occupational health and safety. So talk about workman, type of workman, and talk about also the risk, activities high risk, or complex and dangerous. No, so many things that you can talk about, why is it that you're not doing this? That's what I don't understand. These are very basic things, Construction activity are complex, they are dangerous, they are prone to accidents. Find proof for that. Don't stop yourself. From prone to accidents. So first you need to talk about workmen and their type of workmen and all that. And then after that you need to talk about the activities in construction industry being dangerous and prone to accidents, and health and safety in construction project, whereby you are talking about accidents, rates, data, details, safe, as in health conditions, of workers. This bit alone, I think you need to find proof of all the accidents rate and accidents happen and what type of accidents, and is it death, is it finger cut off, all these sort of things. You have to give data on that, and then the current health conditions of the workers on site in Malaysia. And this is the part that you have to end up saying that, workman is one of the biggest asset, is one of the biggest asset in the construction industry. And seeing the seeing the data and the current working conditions, there is plenty of room for improvement. For occupational health and safety. And then this is whereby you bring in and talk about occupational health and safety. Where is this 2014 data from? Is it from, it looks like one of my research.
It is from UTM, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, then you have to find the more latest one. This is stopping at 2014. It's a bit too old already, okay? This
Okay.
data kind of thing have to be more latest. The current health conditions, this kind of thing. At least this one, if I were to write, I can easily cook up, I can easily find like 4 to 5 articles, or even 6 articles, 5 to 6 articles on these sort of things, and then write like 6, 7 pages out of this, you see.
Okay, doctor.
Then after this, you move in and talk about, the latest data or and after that, you move in and talk about occupational health and safety. What is safety? This is the proper definition of safety. Okay. You are not really defining occupational health and safety. So when we talk about safety, are you defining safety or are you defining occupational? So this is supposed to be, after you define safety, you should be defining OS, occupational safety. There is a specific definition of occupational safety. And then there is a specific definition of occupational health. I mean, I have seen research definition and all this before. I've got my students who are doing this like 2005. I mean, they have already started to define what is occupational health and what is occupational safety. Okay, so this is already 2011. Don't tell me you can't find anything on occupational safety. Safety is one thing, but occupational safety is one thing. Okay, so you define health. You need to define what is occupational health. I'm not sure how useful this is. This is not really defining occupational. In terms of occupational safety, these are, I'm not sure whether this is correct or not. Just check on this. I don't think you should be doing a proper definition, not a touch and go or occupational. Your topic is occupational health and safety, and yet you are not even, Haiza, the seriousness of the problem is this is already week 8 and you haven't even defined occupational safety. So you want me to give up on you and just say that forget it?
No, doctor.
Because honestly, you are not, I mean, as our previous student who has done who has done FYP with Unimas, I mean, this is the standard that I'm actually getting. I'm very disappointed, honestly, I really don't understand. I mean, like, make me understand. Sorry if you're so busy with your part-time job or you have monetary problem or financial problem, or you have some problems that is stopping you from actually doing your work properly. We're coming up to week 8, okay?
I think it is more on overthinking.
Okay. Right. So you don't
Yeah.
have any other issues or anything that is creating a problem for you, are you?
No, only overthinking.
Why are you overthinking? What is there to overthink? As a supervisor, I am famous for people telling me that, Dr. Ting, you always give very, very good structure. Even Dr. Lee tells me that when she see me supervise students, she's very surprised that I have given so many very specific structure of what you should write in every section already.
Oh,
So I really don't know what else I can do for you, because honestly, I'm yapping and yapping and yapping onto definition, and yet, after I'm doing this, now I'm looking at your work now, and I'm just so disappointed. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking like, I really should be forgetting about, I really shouldn't be wasting my time here, I've got better things to do. Think you have to listen to my instructions and give me the things that I want to see. You cannot keep on, I say this, you go and do something else, or you just couldn't be bothered understanding what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm having here is we are not even touching on the core things, We're talking about definition, week 8 definition. 8 weeks of definition, and we haven't get the definition out yet, Safety, health, these are all the basic things. Occupational safety, occupational health. You need to find article literature that defines occupational safety, occupational health, and then you need to find articles that is defining occupational health in the construction industry, specifically occupational safety in the construction industry, specifically, and then tell me why, you have to talk about it is important because workman is such an important resources here that we need to manage occupational health and safety in the construction industry. Or we have to, you can bring in, the latest, maybe you can even talk about the COVID here, that, bring in data on the COVID about how manage our workers, having safety and health issues because of the COVID and all that, just to bring in and talk about, because you cannot jump like this, you see. What happened is you talk about occupational health and safety, then you talk about occupational health and safety management, you see. So with occupational health and safety management, you need to find something here to jump into, to actually jump into management of occupational safety and health, you see. Otherwise, it's like, certainly after you talk about occupational safety and health in the construction industry, and you talk about the management. So we need to find something to go in and talk about the management of occupational health and safety. So you can see that from here, occupational, then you have to define occupational health and safety management. For me, this section on occupational health, safety and health management, officially, I don't really know what's the point of all this. I don't know what's the point of all this. Are you talking about problems? Are you talking about causes? Are you talking about what? It's really very difficult for me to digest all this. Like for me, it's like I've been spending the mass of my career, and then look at you, it's equally messy, you know. The management of this construction, why can't you just do a proper definition of what is occupational health and safety management? Huh? Why is it so difficult to think like that? I mean, I am getting you to think simple. Why are you getting so complicated with things? Define what is occupational. Define OHS management. What is OSH management? What is involved? What are the elements to manage in OSH? This bit here, you have something here that is quite good about the policy and all that. So this bit here probably can be joined with all these things here. Incentives, all this, but if it's only from one possible person, then it's not good. Okay. So how do you want to do this, Haiza? How do you want to do this? You tell me. It should be less me talking and I will hear what you want to do.
I think I'll just try to organize everything again because I also found it a bit messy.
Yeah, you read through it, you know it's messy, right?
Yeah.
If you are an author yourself and then you write this and you find it messy, what is the people, if me as a supervisor giving you marks, how do you think it makes me feel? It's actually giving me a headache, actually, honestly. Okay. And if I throw this to a second examiner, you think you will pass?
No.
Yes, no, okay. So your topic is actually a very old topic. There's a lot of information. There is many articles. There is so many things on occupational health and safety in the construction industry. In fact, I almost feel like there's nothing much to study anymore, you see? So what is the value of your research? You have to point it out to us, okay? So what we are having here now is, first, you have to do definition. So all these things, the earlier bit on definition, half of this up here, up to this occupational health and safety management, all these things here, if I have to draw a line, okay? Okay, if I have to draw a line, I will draw it here. Okay. This bit upwards, definition. Your definition, in fact, if I were to give you marks out of 100%, you've only gotten like what? 20% done. There's 80% work that is not done here, okay? And it's already week 8. You only have 20% of the time left, and you have only done 20% of the work, okay? I'm not trying to scare you or trying to, give pressure, to you on this matter, but it's a very harsh fact, okay? Then this bit onwards is you are trying to prove the point of your research. So workers' occupational health and safety, it is important. It is out of what reason you need to manage OHS. For many, many reasons. For humane reasons, because we're dealing with people. For ethics reasons. There are many reasons why we need to manage OHS. Then you discuss on this. What are the reasons? And of course, there are other things like cost reason, quality reason, There are many management reasons also. If you have workers die on you, wouldn't you be having problem with your cost? Wouldn't you be having problem with the number of people working on the site? Who's going to work on your site if somebody died there? Who's going to work on your site if somebody got their leg chopped off there on your site? Who's going to work on your site if you don't even give them a living workers' quarters on the site? See? So these are a lot of the reason why you need to manage OSH. So if I were to write, I will write things like what are the reasons for me to manage, and then because it will get very expensive if you don't manage, it will, people die, it's out of human reason, it's an emotional reason, there's spiritual reasons, or whatever reasons, you give it 2-3 paragraphs on why you should manage OSH, and then after that you define what is OSH management. So what is OSH management? Define OSH management. What are the elements in OSH management? Okay. And then you write about the current OSH management, or in fact, after what you talk about OSH management, you can talk about what in terms of authority, CIDB, and all these sort of things. Where do you want to put them? Where do you think is a suitable place to put them? Should you put it under policy or should you make it earlier? You choose, okay? I want to see your logic.
Okay.
Can you tell me now?
I think I put it more early.
Early? You want to put it
Yeah.
early?
Yeah.
So you don't want to put it under elements because you've got this policy section here.
Okay, I think I'll just put under element as the sample of the policy.
Okay, if you put it under policy, that means you have to talk about all the CIDB, green card, OSHA, NIOSH, DOSH, and all these things.
Okay.
It has to be all under here, okay? And you can make it very beefy. You talk about policy element and give me one paragraph. It's a shame, okay?
Okay, doctor.
Sorry, it's getting me. I'm getting very, very annoyed with all this, because, like I say, I've already told my students, if you think that I am rude or if I'm not good or whatever, go and change supervisor. Okay, there are people who are more suitable. Start all over again. Okay, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm very happy that you change supervisor because I don't think I can supervise you if this is the kind of work that after 3-4 meetings we are still producing work that needs me to, whole entire thing here. I do not see you talking about CIDB. Where are CIDB? Where are the policy of CIDB? Where are the NIOSH? Where are DOSH? Where are their policy? Where is the Food and Machineries Act? Where is the OSHA Act? Where are all these things? You tell me. That itself is going to give you like at least 10 pages of writing, and yet it's not done yet. Okay, so after you think about it, you think about it, in terms of OSH, after OSH management, you can talk about what is there to manage. That's fine as well. So how to manage, what are the things that needs to be managed. So you need to manage. So I'm not sure what is the point of all these things here. Yeah, like you see, you're just touch and go, touch and go, touch and go. Who teach you to do touch and go like this? Who was the ex-supervisor, by the way?
Mr. Larry.
And who was you previously did a master's by research. Who was your supervisor? Larry as president?
Yeah, Mr. Larry also.
So maybe his style is really, really different. Okay. So I guess I kind of know. Okay. All right. So this one here, elements, after you talk about elements, this here, you have to rearrange. I don't know what is the point of all these things. It's just like everything here is touch and go. So for me, is you have to finish. I give you this structure, you fill up this structure as much as you can. What is occupational health and safety management? What are the elements to be managed in occupational health and safety? And then when you reach this section on what these are the elements, these are the processes, you expand and talk about policy element in terms of rules and regulation. What is the rules and regulations in Malaysia? And then what all the authority in Malaysia as well, all the acts, authority in Malaysia dealing with OSHA. And then what is their and we'll talk about process element. What is process element? Okay, so process element, what you are defining here. So can you define what is process element? What do you mean by process element? So you mean like management? What is this? Okay, so you mean that there are many items that needs to be managed, or is it many methods to manage? Can you tell me what is process element? Eva?
It is the practices.
Practices.
Yeah.
So can you also list down what are the current practices? What are the practices in OSHA management? Like not just touch and go like this. So when do you plan to write in detail? So when you do OSHA management, what do you need to manage? You need to manage subcontractors. What are the elements to manage? You need to manage subcon. You need to manage machineries, maybe. You need to manage workers. You need to manage hazardous material. You need to manage methods of work. So that all these things here, you know, you need to find out what is there to manage in the process element, you see. Otherwise, different processes will have different, different elements need to be managed differently, you see. So here, if you want to talk about personnel element, so what is safety behavior? So this is talking about people, about their training and all that. So if you talk about workmen here, on the process of managing workmen, I think this bit is more on the management processes. This bit is more on the managing of the workmen themselves, okay? And then management, what are the management commitment? Why is there that certainly workman's commitment and characteristic? Here you talk about personal element, now you talk about workman element. Okay, this is 2.3. Oh, okay, people. You're talking about people element, not personnel element. Okay, okay. All right, this is under it together. Okay. Personnel management, workman, safety training, incentive. You also need to be talking about penalty and incentive. Okay, so you have it here about the accident. So why is it accident suddenly comes here? Shouldn't that be in the earlier stages? these are the points of the, like why you need to do this research. You have to slowly lead the reader or the examiner or lead the person reading the thing into telling me that, telling people that are reading this, what's the point of the research? So after your first section on the definition, we should be getting that, workman is important. The industry is such a big industry with so many kind of work. So workman is a very important element, and we should be looking after our workmen in terms of their safety, in terms of their health, out of many, many different reasons of human and all that. And all these workmen, these are occupational health and safety needs to be managed. Then we talk about occupational health and safety management. And there's different elements to manage. There is people element, there is processes element, there is actually human, there is actually what you call the policy elements, and there is the incentive elements, incentive and penalty sort of elements. And then within all these, you must write what is it currently people are practicing, and what are the problems, what are the barriers, and all that. And then after this section, I will see that, okay, so our practices is like this at the moment, okay? And it's lacking in terms of what? So what are the shortcomings? So for every section on the incentive, and let's say, if I talk about incentive, you should always go by define, available practice, shortcomings in the current practice. So these are the three things that you'll be repeating basically for every element, so that we can actually see, where actually is the problem. Are you still here? Are you still with me?
Yes, doctor.
So you're really doing a very in-depth analysis of every elements and what are the shortcomings and what are the problems, within those elements, so that you can really see the direction of your research, whether you want to go into whether policy is really the problem, or whether personnel is really the problem, or whether incentives is really a problem, or you can combine a few elements that you want to study. You get what I mean, Haiza?
Yes, doctor.
All right, so if let's say you're going to be studying policies, you need to know what is policy. Is it define what is policy, what is OH's policy, what are the available rules and authority practices and all that, and acts and authority, and what is the problem here? You see, what are the shortcomings on the current practice here? Yeah, what is the current problem with the practice? Maybe there's minimum people following, and past research that talks about the shortcoming in OSHA, shortcoming in the Food and Machineries Act, shortcoming in CIDV's policy, and then talk about the effectiveness. Yeah, this is very important. Effectiveness of the current practice. And this is appearing in every element here. So this is going to be very important. This, after you properly study all the 4 elements that you put up here, these are 4 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. After you have these 4 elements, you study these 4 elements in detail, then you will start to realize that in your research, what do you want to focus on? You want to focus on policy, you want to focus on processes, you want to focus on personnel, or do you want to focus on incentives, you see? or you want to focus on processes and personnel, or you want to focus on policy and processes, which is actually very good because policy will determine the processes as well. See, so you need this particular section will help you to see where you want to go, you know. So when you come to this OSHA and what elements to manage, or in fact, you can talk about, it's a good thing, maybe you can talk about what is OSHA, what is current problem with OHS management, okay? This is also quite good because this is the overview about what OSHA now is. Company are not really doing it. They are very slow in doing it. You know, they are not motivated to do it. You know, so try to come up with a section on what is the current with OSHA problem. Okay, either that here or you can do it after we talk about the elements. So your elements, like I said, this bit here, I find it really like, I don't know what is it for kind of thing, you know. If it's on the elements, put it within the elements. If it's not, then take it out, you know. Don't give things that are not pointless, you see. These are all policy things. But then here, you put it here. And then suddenly under the policy, you got nothing to talk about. You understand what I'm trying to say or not? You are just mumbo jumbling, like throwing things, you know? You have to organize it like, if this is a policy issues, you put it under policies. If it's a process issues, you put it under processes, you know? And then right from there, fill up what I tell you here, like this bit here. In every section, you are having this, you see?
Okay, doctor.
This is only after you study this, okay, then you will know where are all the shortcomings and where are all the problems, you know. And then at the end of this particular section, and then you see all this, like you're jumping back to accidents in construction, and it's really annoying me, you know. It's like, why can't you just organize? Are you the type of person that you eat fried chicken halfway and then you go and buy ice cream to eat? Or you eat like, I don't know, you eat dessert first and then after that, you go to eat follow me. I mean, like, this is how I feel, you know, and my stomach is not digesting it because you are just pushing everything down my throat, you know. This is what I'm getting from it. So you're eating halfway banana cake and then you go and eat, you go and buy satay to eat. And then halfway eating satay, you are not even halfway eating satay, you buy satay and then you decided you want to eat sotong. You know, and after you order all your seafood and then you tell me that now you want to eat ice cream. This is what I'm getting from you, you know. Everything just push it into one plate. It's salad, it's worse than a salad, you see. And I don't know what this salad is for. It looks like a whole plate of mess. And I don't know whether this is food or not, you know, and I have no appetite eating it. That is the feeling that I'm getting from your work here. Okay. And if this is at the beginning, like let's say week 4, I'm fine because you are still trying to get used to the structure. But after I've spoken to you so many times about the structures, about the layout and all that, you really should be taking my advice and go and do the layout properly. Okay. Okay, so yeah, like I say, and you talk guidelines and you give me 2 paragraphs, you might as well don't write, put it this way. This is like only trying to fulfill my requirements. So what are you talking about guidelines? Is this policy? Can you answer me? Is this session on policy or what?
I think I'll just omit this section.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe now you can repeat to me on how you should be doing this. I've already gone through, I've talked so long already. Can you just repeat for me what I've just said to you, or your understanding of what I've just said to you?
At first, I think for every section, I need to give the definition first, the overview, and then after that, I just go to the current practices, and after that, I just summarize or summarize the what the shortcoming on the current practices.
Okay. Since the beginning, I've already said to you, the upper half, how do you want to map it out? The upper half, I'm not talking about the lower half yet. I'm talking about the upper half. How do you want to map out your thing? I've already mapped it out for you. Can you tell me your understanding so that I know you actually understand or not understand?
Okay, for the upper half, define, give the definition. After after the definition, then I give the
There's many definitions here. What definition?
the occupational health and safety definition, and after that,
No,
give
no,
the
no, 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 no. Can you start from construction industry?
construction industry. So since the construction industry is related with the human and devices, so I need to give broad example on the people related with the construction industry,
Okay, then
and then the
people related.
machineries.
People
Yeah,
related with the construction industry. Okay, so
yeah,
the industry, you need to do people related with the industry. I mean, like, what are the people? Who are the people, and what type of people, and all that. Okay, then after that, so that shows what that shows that what the industry is actually run by
people.
people. Okay, and so
Yeah,
run by different tradesmen and all that.
yeah,
Okay, then after that, so after understanding all the people and the industry is actually run by people, uh and then you talk about the construction industry being risky, and what else, and have a lot of activities that is, you need to find proof on that, huh? Cannot be you say one.
okay,
Then after that, you combine that with safety, isn't it?
yes,
So that means the people, because it's a very risky, it's a very dangerous industry and all that. So the people in the industry need to be taken care of. Okay. So in that sense, you conclude that, and then you start to move into, no, you have to talk about a lot of accidents first. Everything related to accidents, you talk about it first. Okay.
okay,
So when you talk about how dangerous it is, this is where you talk about all the accidents rate, and the accidents rates are not dropping, etc., etc. Okay.
okay,
And then after that, you relate workmen with safety. Fair enough.
mm,
Okay, so then you move in and you
define safety and health in
define safety
occupation.
and health, and all the problems related to safety and let me have a look. Are you defining safety and health first, or okay? So you need to show me all your work accidents rate and all that, yeah. And then after that, you start to define. You need to list down what is safety, and then what is OS, occupational safety, what is health, what is occupational health in construction. These are all construction related stuff.
Okay,
Okay. All is construction, because occupational can be a lot of things. I sit in the office also, I've got occupational health and safety issues. So you need to talk
mm,
about occupational health in construction. Okay. That
okay,
occupational is construction. Then after that, you talk about the reason why you must manage, the reason why you must manage OSHA. Okay, because it's so important, we need to manage OSHA. There's a part that I list down in yellow just now. Where is it? Yeah. So this bit here, you want to talk about why occupational health and safety needs to be managed. So yeah. So then there are many reasons. So then you talk about you must manage them because there's many reasons why you must manage them. Then you talk about your occupational health and safety. These are the next section. These are the next section. The things that I highlighted is basically I don't know what you're trying to say, and this thing blue thing that I highlighted, I think they're all very messy. And the yellow thing that I highlighted also, I don't know what you're trying to say here again. So it's either you don't want to take them out, you need to put them in the right places. So this is like define occupational health, define occupation, what is occupational health, what are the problems, what are the elements, and within the elements, you talk about policy, you need to talk about different policy practices and shortcoming and effectiveness and all that. Okay?
Okay, doctor.
You understand or not?
Yes.
Okay, so same goes with you on the 12th. We will decide on the 12th whether you all should stay back for another sem or not. This one on the 12th is already midway, it's already finishing the sem already. On the 31st, we are finishing the last class. So we really don't have too much time for you to waste. On the 20-something, I think 22nd or 23rd before Christmas, you're going to have your oral presentation. So if you cannot get this thing out properly, you can't even go and do your oral presentation. But I wouldn't want you to fail, put it this way. I would just stop you from doing RP2 because if your RP1 is not ready, doing RP2, you're just looking to commit suicide only. Okay?
Okay, doctor.
Okay, so I hope you understand the flow of work now.
Yes.
Okay, and need to fill out with literature, and then don't put like you don't take other people's literature exactly what they say and put it in, because if you take exactly what they say and put it actually doesn't match your own literature. So what you need to do is you must take their idea, take their references, and you modify and you twist it to what you want to say, You have to twist it to your own benefit, put it this way. If you copy, I see that you copy a lot of other people's work into it. Yes, that is literature review, no doubt. But first, number one, you cannot pass turning in later on. Number two, whatever they write is not exactly the direction of your research, maybe. You just want some of their elements, so you need to write according. So here is according to so and so. This is also supported by so and so, who mentioned maybe the first part of it that is more related to your work, you see. So you don't have to copy all their sentences down. When you do that, I see that when McCurry and you do that, you are actually copy, and put it in, and then the whole thing doesn't flow because it's actually from different workers, from different people, Because different people, they write differently, they have different ideas. What you want is their thoughts and their ideas only. You really don't need to take their sentences and copy 100%. You get what I mean?
Yes, doctor.
So try to twist the thing to your work,
Okay. Doctor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
On the 22nd December, you said there will be a presentation. So is it a presentation covering both the introduction chapter and the literature chapter?
Yes, both.
Okay.
Should be around 22nd, 23rd. I'm getting the Dr. Leonard to come up with the schedule. You should be getting the schedule by end of this week or beginning of next week. Yeah. Who is your examiner and all that? Yeah. This is one
Okay.
only I mark, so I can have control over it. You see. So you registered already. If I fail you and they get you to do pieces 2, that is very bad. You know, I don't want that. You see, so normally, no matter what, I will still pass you, but not with high grades. And then worst come to worst, you just cannot fulfill it. You have to do RP2. I mean, like you have to tunda your RP2 lah. So that when you do RP2, it's really, really data collection. You already understand what your topic is all about. You know what are the parameters that you want to study, and then you can go for data collection. If I just pass you on this, like this at the moment, you don't even know what to do, then you go to RP3, RP2, you definitely have problems on, even bigger problems.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, so 5th or 6th, you hand it in to me again, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Look for me when you have problems. If you don't understand any parts of this, read through this, listen back to this recording. And because we go through each and every section one by one. So go through this again. Like when you're writing on that section, go and see what I say on this section again. If you still don't understand, you must look for me. You don't just like not look for me and then just give me something like that, you know?
Okay, doctor.
You have to learn to clarify, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Haizang. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.